The Nobel Prizes 2019. The Nobel Prize amount for 2019 was set at Swedish kronor (SEK) 9.0 million per full Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize in Physics 2019. James Peebles, Canada, for theoretical discoveries in physical cosmology. Michel Mayor, Switzerland, and Didier Queloz, Switzerland, for the discovery of an exoplanet orbiting a solar-type star. The Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine 2019. William G. Kaelin Jr., USA. Sir Peter J. Ratcliffe, United Kingdom. And Gregg L. Semenza, USA. for their discoveries of how cells sense and adapt to oxygen availability. The Nobel Prize in Chemistry 2019. John B. Goodenough, Germany. M. Stanley Whittingham, United Kingdom. And Akira Yoshino, Japan, for the development of lithium-ion batteries. The Nobel Prize in Literature 2019. Peter Handke, born December 6, 1942. Griffin, Austria, for an influential work that with linguistic ingenuity has explored the periphery and the specificity of human experience. Famous works: The Goalie's Anxiety at the Penalty Kick, The Left-Handed Woman, The Ride Across Lake Constance, A Sorrow Beyond Dreams, The Absence, My Foot My Tutor, Offending the Audience. The Nobel Peace Prize 2019. Abiy Ahmed Ali, Prime Minister of Ethiopia, for his efforts to achieve peace and international cooperation, and in particular for his decisive initiative to resolve the border conflict with neighboring Eritrea. Ethiopia, East Africa, capital and largest city: Addis Ababa. Official languages: Amharic. President: Sahle-Work Zewde. Currency: birr. The Prize in Economic Sciences 2019. Abhijit Banerjee, India. Esther Duflo, France. And Michael Kremer, USA, for their experimental approach to alleviating global poverty. The Nobel Prize in Literature 2018. Olga Tokarczuk, born January 29, 1962. Sulekow, Poland, for a narrative imagination that with encyclopedic passion represents the crossing of boundaries as a form of life. Awards and Honors: Man Booker International Prize 2018 for the book Flights. Notable works: Primeval and Other Times, Xiigi Jacobo, House of Day, House of Night. About Nobel Prize. Alfred Nobel, the Swedish chemist who invented dynamite, was concerned with the ways in which science could impact humanity. Nobel strongly believed in the betterment of mankind and thought those whose life work exemplified his vision should be honored. When he died in 1893, Nobel left $9 million in his will to honor the people whose work conferred the greatest benefit on mankind. This honor is known as the Nobel Prize. Born the 21st of October 1833. Die the 10th of December 1896. Nobel Prize giving day is the 10th of December. Since 1901, Nobel Prize laureates have been selected every year for contributions in the areas of peace, literature, physics, chemistry and physiology or medicine. Economic science was added as a sixth category in 1968. Laureates come from all different backgrounds and from countries around the world. Every year, the Swedish Academy requests nominations of candidates in each of the 6 areas. Once the winners have been chosen, the science and literature laureates are honored at a ceremony that takes place in Sweden. At the ceremony, the King of Sweden presents each laureate with a diploma, a medal, and a cash prize. Peace laureates receive their awards in Oslo, Norway in the presence of the King of Norway. Albert Einstein won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921 for discovering the cause of the photoelectric effect. The 1945 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine went to Sir Alexander Fleming, Ernst Chain and Sir Howard Florey for their discovery of penicillin, a fungus, and its use as an antibiotic. In 1946, an American named Herman Muller was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for discovering that radiation causes mutations. Francis Crick and James Watson won the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1962 for their discovery that Na is shaped like a double helix. The International Committee of the Red Cross has won the most Nobel Prizes of any one entity or person. It won peace prizes in 1917 and 1944 for its work during the First and Second World Wars, and a third peace prize in 1963, along with the League of Red Cross Societies, marking the 100th anniversary of its founding. At 35, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. became the youngest person to receive the Nobel Peace Prize when his work to end racial discrimination in the United States through nonviolent means was recognized in 1964. His I Have a Dream speech, which he delivered 1 year earlier from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial to a crowd of 200,000, was but one of many famous and influential speeches King gave as a leader in the civil rights movement. Heisenberg received the Physics Prize in 1932 for discovering the underlying principles of quantum mechanics, the rules that govern the behavior of subatomic particles. The Nobel Prize in Literature 1901. Sully Perdoman's special recognition of his poetic composition, which gives evidence of lofty idealism, artistic perfection, and a rare combination of the qualities of both heart and intellect. The first winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1901. The Nobel Prize in Literature 2016. Bob Dylan for having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition. The Nobel Prize in Literature 1953. Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill for his mastery of historical and biographical description as well as for brilliant oratory in defending exalted human values. British Prime Minister during Second World War. The Nobel Prize in Literature 1954. Ernest Miller Hemingway for his mastery of the art of narrative, most recently demonstrated in The Old Man and the Sea, and for the influence that he has exerted on contemporary style. The Nobel Prize in Literature 1971. Pablo Neruda for a poetry that with the action of an elemental force brings alive a continent's destiny and dreams. The Nobel Prize in Literature 1982. Gabriel Garcia Marquez for his novels and short stories, in which the fantastic and the realistic are combined in a richly composed world of imagination, reflecting a continent's life and conflicts. The Nobel Prize in Literature 1976. Saul Bellow for the human understanding and subtle analysis of contemporary culture that are combined in his work. Sartre was one of the leading figures in 20th century French philosophy, particularly Marxism and existentialism. He was awarded the 1964 Nobel Prize in Literature but refused it, saying he did not wish to be transformed by such an award and did not want to take sides in an East versus West cultural struggle by accepting an award from a prominent Western cultural institution. Sartre published his treatise on existentialism, Being and Nothingness, in 1943. Together, he and French author Albert Camus, who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1957, popularized the existentialist movement, which emphasized the experience of living rather than focusing on universal truths or moral obligations. The youngest person to receive a Nobel Prize was peace winner Malala Yousafzai, who was awarded the prize at age 17. The oldest recipient was Leonid Hurwicz, who won the Economic Science Prize at age 90. The first woman to receive a Nobel Prize was Marie Curie, who shared the 1903 Physics Award with her husband for their work in spontaneous radiation. Curie was awarded a second prize, this time in chemistry, in 1911. Only one other woman has been awarded the Physics Prize since Curie. The first physics recipient was Wilhelm Röntgen, who received the prize for his work with X-rays. Several years later, in 1909, Guglielmo Marconi and Carl Ferdinand Braun were awarded the prize for their work in radio. Enrico Fermi won the 1938 Physics Prize for his work on the precursor to nuclear fission. The 1956 Physics Prize was awarded to William Shockley, John Bardeen, and Walter Brittain for their invention of the transistor. Just a few years later, Charles Townes worked out the principles used to create the laser. He was awarded the Physics Prize in 1964. One of Townes' students at Columbia University was a young man named Arno Penzias. Penzias and colleague Robert Wilson discovered cosmic background radiation, that is, noise left over from the Big Bang. The pair was awarded the 1978 Physics Prize for this discovery. Few awards even begin to rival it in prestige. To the 700 or so people who have received it, the Nobel Prize is surely one of the greatest honors they have been granted. Other Nobel laureates: Rabindranath Tagore, India, as first Indian origin. Literature, 1913. Because of his profoundly sensitive, fresh and beautiful verse, by which, with consummate skill, he has made his poetic thought, expressed in his own English words, a part of the literature of the West. C.V. Raman, Indian, physics. 1930. For his work on the scattering of light and for the discovery of the effect named after him. Mother Teresa, Albanian Indian. Peace. 1979. In recognition of her work in bringing help to suffering humanity. Amartya Kumar, Senator, Indian. Economic Sciences. 1998. For his contributions to welfare economics. Kailash Satyarthi, Indian. Peace. 2014. For their struggle against the suppression of children and young people and for the right of all children to education. Rajendra K. Pakori, on behalf of the IPCA's chairman. Indian. Peace. 2007. For their efforts to build up and disseminate greater knowledge about man-made climate change, and to lay the foundations for the measures that are needed to counteract such change. Har Gobind Khorana, United States. Born in Raipur, Pakistan. Physiology or medicine. 1968. For their interpretation of the genetic code and its function in protein synthesis. 14th Dalai Lama, India. Born in Taitsur, Tibet. Peace Prize. 1989. For his consistent resistance to the use of violence in his people's struggle to regain their liberty. Abdus Salam, Pakistan. Physics. 1979. First Pakistani Nobel laureate. For his contribution to the electroweak unification theory. Muhammad Yunus, Bangladesh, as first Bangladeshi. Peace Prize. 2006. For efforts through microcredit to create economic and social development from below. Barack Obama, USA. Peace Prize. 2009. For his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. You can subscribe the JobsMic channel for the Nobel Prize 2020 video.